Last time on OK Stupid Ball Z. Blah 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 blah.
No, this isn't happening. There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
Blah 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 blah.
He cuts his arm off, he cuts his other arm off, right? And Zondark is like flinging this axe around, and Guts is also like in your armor, so it's not having any problem deflecting all these attacks, and then he slices his fucking head off, like at a slant. So when he does that, the Count busts out with his like Daemon slug potato face.
So this, I guess, gets back to this whole thing that I've been thinking on about, are the Count and this creature, are they different?
Like the hivemind business.
Right, like, so I thought this was another point for me, that this is a hivemind thing, that this creature is one, and it's like splitting itself into many, because I thought originally when the exchange occurred, or exchange, it wouldn't be an exchange because I thought originally it was because the creature would leave the Count completely and be in Zondark. But it seems
like he upgraded to like a better body.
Yeah, or that it can take on what it needs. But it seems to be off and is still in the Count and is also in Zondark. But at the same time, when it pops out of Zondark's head, it's the likeness of the Count. It has the Count's
it recognizes Vargas.
And we have been debating this. I do think these are two separate beings. Like, I think this creature is inside the Count, and the Count is still separate from this creature.
Like a separate human that's not part of the whatever the thing is.
To me, there's this idea, right, how you were talking about the daemon is like maybe an angel and a devil on your shoulder.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Separate.
Is that it?
She's like, here, have my daemon. Actually, a lot of people will say that that pronunciation is demon, but I mean, I think for the point of like
just separating the two.
differentiating
Yeah, I don't know
them,
why. Like, then it would just be spelled demon. Why
Yeah.
not? Yeah.
So I'm saying daemon. He says, here, have my daemon, as if like it's something inside of him that he's under control of, and he can pass it on at will, and he thinks he's completely in control.
Don't you think this is a revolutionary way to promulgate one's faith?
When this thing, if the Count isn't serving its purposes anymore, like, it can do whatever it wants and move on to another body, or it's the Count thinks he's got one over on this thing inside him, but this thing is actually what's winning the day and in control.
Well, I'll be really interested for you to continue and see more, like, it's good to like make analysis and try to figure out stuff as it goes, and I know you like mystery, so you're a little mystery solver, so it'll be interesting to see how this shapes up for you.
Isn't it obvious? That should do it.
But the Count does tell them that the only thing that's left of Zondark is his like desire to kill, his like straight shin intent to kill Guts, and that's the only thing that's left of him. And so that that fight continues, and then this is the old Black Knight church comes down on them, and it's like, oh, they're stuck in rubble. What happens? And so they escape. And so this is a point I wanted to bring up, is that they get out, they leave, right? And then Guts is immediately like, yo, Vargas, give me the behelit. You don't have any reason to have this. Give it here, right? And Vargas is maybe like a one coma cell, reticent to do it, but he does give it over to him. And Guts has got this smug, smirk-ass little look on his face, like, give me this shit. And then he's like, all right, peace, see ya, and he just walks off and leaves Vargas there. And Puck is pretty mad about this, and so then this is calling more into question, is Guts, is he good or bad? Like, what do you think about the way he's treating people here? And it seems like he's not identifying with Vargas in any way, like is it like, they'll be a burden to me? Because he does say something like to Puck about I can't have these people here because they're just a burden. If you can't protect yourself, get fucked. Like right now, what do you think? Like, is Guts good or bad, or what do you think about that? Like, this is sort of like a morality check. And you can just say, who knows, right? Obviously, you don't know the answer to this yet.
Yeah. So I do just want to mention that him leaving Vargas, it was, I saw it happening. I wasn't surprised, but this was a big Varg deserved better moment for me.
So now you're getting me back for all the memes that you've never seen or heard or have no idea about. Okay, great.
Yes. Barb absolutely deserved better, and so did Vargas. When I saw what happens to him, my heart just sank, and that's exactly what I thought. Barb deserved better. Because I just knew he was going to get captured, and I didn't want it to happen. His greatest fear has happened.
And that's just that he's he's just in the clutches of his nemesis or whatever.
Yeah, though at least you could characterize his death as merciful, right?
So he does get caught, and not to harp on that too much, but he then gets taken to the execution, gallows where, where the girl with the questionable brand got her head chopped off in the beginning scene. And this is obviously to get Guts to come out. And Puck is there, and he flies in and tries to save him. Were you excited for this?
I was so excited, and I'm like, okay, hold on. I have to remember what this world is and what I'm doing. Hold up.
This fairy's not going to do shit. It's not saving shit. So he plunks off the axe of the executioner, and the executioner holding him is like, what's this little bug? And he gets captured there, right? And so more on that in the next chapter. But Guts is actually there watching, and Vargas yells out, hold the Count's head up for us all, before he gets his head cut off, right? So Vargas just into Vargas. And that's a sad deal, because Vargas was one of the most human characters in the comics so far, and we got a lot of backstory. And I mean, what happened to Vargas is probably it's probably not many people in the world who could imagine something worse than that in our reality happening to them,
Yeah.
So you kind of have to identify with what he wants, and he doesn't have the power to do it. And Guts is cleaning his shit, getting ready for an encounter, obviously, of some type, right? And he's in this rubble, and he takes his hand off, his metal arm, and you see his amputated stump, right? Because that's what it is. And so he starts thinking about Vargas, and Vargas not having the power to be able to take vengeance, and he has some good lines about ambition, where he says, ambition comes with a price attached. And of course, if that price is too high, you will die for nothing, right? And so the reward for ambition too great is self-destruction. And obviously, he's thinking about his situation you know. And so I think like it's hard not to think, oh, it's a very similar situation, you know, as to why he's doing that. But also like Guts has the power, right? Or he has the power that Vargas doesn't have. But like, does he have the power to get it done?
Yeah, I think going back to whether Guts is a good person or not, and just encompassing all of his behavior. I think it's possible for a good person to do bad things. I don't know if Guts is a good or a bad person right now, but I would prefer not to make a judgment call that he's bad.
And when you say that,
behavior.
you mean not objectively, but your preferential, subjective, moral preference.
Sure, yeah.
Precepts. Okay.
And sorry, I interrupted you. I never remember. Go on.
Oh. Yeah, so I just like that humanizes Guts a little bit, you know, and it is another crack in the, you know, the exoskeleton of his like general disgust for other people, because the thing that he's saying that he thinks is disgusting about other people is something that you're clearly seeing him contemplate on his own here. And then he goes to the graveyard and there are souls of other people like leaving those bodies at night, and they are like asking him to get revenge for, you know, for the Count, including like what you would assume is a Vargas body, because it's the body pile heap.
Well, they brought Vargas.
Yeah, where Vargas's corpse was.
He looks him in the eye.
Oh yeah, he picks them up. Yeah, that's right. And so he's really having that contemplative moment, you know, and so that's pretty interesting. It seems from that scene that he's not sure that he can do it, you know, and he's been talking shit, and so talk shit, get hit, you know, 101. Ow.
So I still have a lot more to say about Guts. He just has no empathy for other people in the extreme. And to some extent, I almost wonder if he's purposely driving people away with his behavior, because he wants to, he can't compromise his mission with feelings or emotions that he doesn't want them to get in the way in terms of feeling something for other people who are in the same position as him. So, in reaction to that, he is looking at them with utter contempt.
I mean, definitely, like, it is a burden, and defending others when someone else that you're fighting doesn't have to is, you know, absolutely a handicap.
It just reminds me so much. I feel like there's this psychological aspect to people. I was going to try to avoid this story, but
Let's do it.
I will tell it and I will look like a bad person, but you know, I can struggle with so much shyness in groups. And I remember when I was teaching children, and there was this one girl that was so shy. And you would think that I would be empathetic towards her. Because I understand what she's feeling, this little girl, in feeling so shy that she can't extend herself to be part of a group or to be in the social fabric of this classroom. And instead, it just made me so angry, and I had
Nothing!
You know, not angry like Guts, you know, just like because my own weakness was like exposed in this little girl, who's having trouble like putting herself out there.
Yeah.
And it was so fascinating for me to see this and it made me feel really terrible, but it was also just so visceral. And I feel like that's what is happening here. Is he completely lacks compassion for people who have experienced the same ruin as he has from what is going on here, but they have failed, and he is determined not to fail.
So do you think from this story, do you think that maybe like reading this is this author, Kentaro Miura, like leading you to your crap ass redemption arc in relation to that girl? Don't answer that.
You know what? You are leading me down a much darker path.
Okay,
so
that's
there
good.
is no redemption arc here.
Oh, good. Well, the light under the door is about to click off.
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish this.
I have more to say.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
I do.
Go ahead. Happophobia unconfirmed. Okay, go ahead.
I just really like when you ask if Guts is a good person or not. I love that this whole story, I feel like it's constantly asking the question, are you capable of this?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like what price will come with your ambition?
But in terms of, like, I think we posture all the time in that we're saying, I would never do this. That is bad. I would never. There's so many things every day that you would say, if I were in that situation, I wouldn't act like that.
Yeah. Like, I'll never drink bubble tea. Like, it's not going to happen.
Right. And yeah, like, that's what fascinates me so much about true crime. Like, do we all have the capacity to do something terrible? And what would drive us to that? Or is it just, specific people? And I come down on the side that we are all capable of very, very ugly things if the circumstances are going to push us.
I'm going to watch
that
you.
degree.
I'm going to keep watching you because that sounds sinister as fuck. So, okay, well, we're going to finish there. The next chapters are coming up. That's really exciting. We're excited about it. It'll be good to finish this volume and, close your eyes and use your ears to listen a little bit more, or shut the fuck up, but still do all the other stuff that I just said previously. Bye-bye. Thank you.